We needed those officers to be on the street fighting crime, and instead we have several officers that are riding around.
An internal police department source claims that Tiffany Henyard is charged with giving authorities access to private material. By possibly connecting Henyard to the acts that are being investigated, the information that was made public could lead to serious concerns about her relationships and behavior.
That's all I got to say, and there's nothing you can do about it.
People are even picking up on her vocabulary. Stop messing with her. Tiffany Henyard, hoodwinked, bamboozled, she forgot the grandstanding part. But anyway, as we go deeper into the meeting, they kind of start to bring forward the issue with the city of Dolton on how they're losing money. Now, they would always talk about it, but now it's starting to reach reality. It's where, as you know, layoffs will be taking place. And also, they're trying to sell certain buildings. Now, if you guys remember Tiffany Henyard's dream to build a swimming pool so all the black babies could learn how to swim, I don't know what she's on, but she wants to have a swimming pool segued with a police station. Like people want to go and swim next to the police station. But anyways, we're going to hear what Kiana Belcher had to say about the whole situation and her plan.
Authorities' decision to restrict the transfer of funds to the city due to growing worries about money laundering has had a significant negative financial impact on the state of Dolton. Trust in the city's financial management has been seriously damaged by the scandal, which allegedly involves high-ranking officials, including Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Allegations of fund mismanagement and maybe illegal financial behavior are the cause of this. State authorities have taken extreme measures, such as ceasing financial support until a comprehensive investigation is completed.
The state of Illinois announced that they will stop sending money to the state, to the county of Illinois, of Dolton. And I mean, Lori liked me. I have to admit, I was wrong. But later on, more. RJ.
Yeah, Tiffany Henyard keeps on keeping on. She is a super mayor, super delusional. And Peter, you know what the thing is? If you only follow her, then you would think that she's doing, like she's successful, right? Like a good manager would, diligently, responsibly, not putting your own interest before the interest of the collective.
Yep.
And the financial reports are one of the ways that the public can see transparently what you did with the resources that were at your disposal. Now,
misusing, as they've been saying, taxpayer money, spending upwards of $3.5 million, or at least driving the town's money straight into the doggone dirt. Now, one of her main cops, one of the cops that was on her payroll, man, this guy was getting paid some serious ducats, all right? This dude was making upwards of, he collected about over $200,000 just from the mayor itself due to overtime and protection on the mayor. Let's be real. Then also, if he was such a good cop, then why was he forcibly kicked out? Why was he fired? If he was such a good cop, why was he exposed and kicked out?
In a controversial development, Tiffany Henyard has been charged with allegedly taking advantage of the local police department for her personal benefit. According to reports, the police have been diverted from their primary duty of serving and protecting to concentrate on initiatives and activities that directly benefit Henyard.
About here, or at least a dirty cop at the time, working for Tiffany Henyard, taking all that money and, I don't know, stuffing it into his mattress at night. I don't know, but he clearly was trying to hide his assets, trying to hide the money that he was actually gaining so that he would not lose that money, which is absolutely crazy to me. But that also shows you the kind of company that Tiffany Henyard was keeping. Okay, you are what you eat, you are the company that you keep, so on and so forth. You can use every single saying under the sun to describe or to talk about this particular situation. But to me, you can see clear as day that this guy is corrupt, and I guarantee you, he's not the only one that's corrupt in this group. Tiffany Henyard, I'm sure, was all about it as well, and was totally engaging in this whole situation as well. What's interesting about this as well is that we can definitely see that the tension is starting to tighten, right? The focus is starting to zero in slowly but surely into Tiffany Henyard. If they're going after the deputy chief of police, one of her men that was part of her security detail, it's only a matter of time that herself and anybody else that was connected to that money is going to go.
There has been much conjecture over the financial soundness and integrity of Tiffany Henyard's associates since one of her officers filed for bankruptcy. This development is alarming.
Ma'am, this is a room full of people who just got off work and senior citizens and people who care about their community. Nobody's out here finna just crash out and shoot up the place for you. It's not that deep. Come on. Me throwing my life away for her? Insanity. Nobody's thinking that way. You're a crooked thug in the mayor position. She's gonna assassinate herself at the end of the day anyway. No need for anybody to be.
Since Tiffany Henyard was appointed to the city administration, concerns have been made about the qualifications of persons and the screening procedure in the bankruptcy case.
Controversial mayor in all of America. So this mayor named Tiffany Henyard is the mayor of a place called Dolton, Illinois. And essentially every single resident in Dolton wants Tiffany out of office. This is mainly because Tiffany's very controversial use of taxpayer money. For starters, Tiffany has a full security detail that goes everywhere with her in the town. This security detail is estimated to be about $250K a year. In addition to security, Tiffany also uses taxpayer funds to do things like buying billboards with her.
According to reports, the security force that was put in place to protect Dolton citizens has mostly been tasked with keeping Mayor Tiffany Henyard safe. It is concerning that Henyard's personal safety is being given precedence above the community's greater security requirements through the utilization of an excessive quantity of security resources.
Throughout the town, and she even has her own 2024 calendar, and of course she put her own birthday in the calendar. Now in addition to all of this, Tiffany has also made it extremely hard for anyone to run against her. Currently she makes around $225K a year. However, if someone were to run against her and win, they would not be getting anywhere close to what Tiffany's making. This is because Tiffany is proposing a 90% cut in her salary, but only if someone who is not her is elected. This would drop the pay from $225K to just $25K. Yet even with that massive pay cut, people still want to run against Tiffany.
And in Dolton's history, according to reports, Tiffany Henyard's time as mayor was the most controversial since she was involved in a controversy and charged with embezzling public monies. She has been accused of having a divisive leadership style, which has sparked numerous probes and a huge public uproar.
Is going to step down without taking a few other people down with him? I'm sure he's going to start squawking as soon as he gets thrown into a jail cell. Wait for it, guys, because it's coming. And for Tiffany Henyard, Mayor, we can use that for now, okay? So Mayor Tiffany Henyard, let me tell you something. It's coming for you. Oh.
Residents are growing more and more irritated as the mayor's personal interests are being put before their safety.
That you have a significant security detail. First of all, how large is your police department in Dolton, and what is your security detail?
So we have about 45 officers in our village. My security is warranted due to the fact of threats and things of that nature, but what people are not stating is it's in our CBA. That's our collective bargaining agreement. That's our union contract. So it comes with a seat. That's what people are not saying. I didn't make this up. I didn't just create this and say, I'm
called by the Thornton Township Board of Trustees. They have a number of items on the agenda looking to curtail spending that they say is being done by Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who is also township supervisor. We should also.
I've been accused of abusing her security detail. According to Kennex, Tiffany Henyard's security protocols are fully compliant with the law. She has defended her behavior, disputing claims that she put in place needless and overbearing security measures. She has, however, justified her actions by pointing to relevant legal rules.
Police, because he was investigating all of those credit card receipts and all those claims of her funneling taxpayer dollars into her privately owned cancer awareness charity, which you cannot do. And one of those investigations that the chief of police was investigating, it stated here in this tweet, and shout out to this person for tweeting this, they said Mayor Tiffany Henyard is one of the most corrupt ever. She actually hired a child offender overpays her police officers. She overpays her police officers to be her security, which what do you need that much security for? You're a mayor of a town with about 20,000 people. One of the officers was paid $13,000 in 2 weeks for 300 hours of overtime. Because nobody believes that. Nobody believes that anybody worked 300 hours of overtime. So this has to be investigated because it looks like these numbers were being padded. So the chief of police, or the ex-chief of police, had his attorney investigate these claims, and they're standing behind them that there were.
And it wouldn't even be her first time there. She has embezzled hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. She has defrauded her taxpayers, and she has the city in a $7 million deficit. That's the tip of the iceberg. Her charity has been shut down by the state government after it was found out she spent tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars on nothing. Like when she spent 10 grand on a weekend bicycle trip to the capital of Illinois, Springfield, in support of a bill that was never filed when the state legislation wasn't even in session. And the $17,000 that she spent on merch. She says that she doesn't have a foundation, she's not involved in it. Like, bestie, your name's on it. There's the small fact that her personal security detail works not just double overtime, but triple overtime, often clocking as much as 200 hours in a single 2-week pay period, which is usually 80. But one guy clocked 303 hours. Should we talk about the Vegas thing? She flew first class to Vegas on the town's car, racked up over $8,000 in hotel costs with zero business justification or even explanation about what they were doing there. There's also the lawsuit and FBI investigation into the SA that occurred there to her personal assistant, which she then fired.
In response to mounting concerns, authorities appear to have summoned a special meeting to examine Mayor Tiffany Henyard's financial management. The conference's goals include investigating her alleged expenditure, looking at how municipal funds are allocated, and establishing procedures to ensure responsibility.
Of Turtle Boy's interview with the juror from Karen Reed's trial. I already posted part 1, so go ahead and watch that first and then come back here. So they were asked, what did you think of Michael Proctor's testimony? Michael Proctor was mentioned every single day of this trial, so to say he was someone I was anxiously waiting to hear from would be an understatement. I was obviously disappointed that an officer of the law behaved in a way that showed so little integrity and didn't uphold their oath to protect and serve our community. I do not agree with his behavior when it came to the investigation and understand that behavior was a critical part of the trial for the defense. I wish it hadn't come down to reading texts in open court where he essentially dehumanized Karen. None of it had anything to do with the core facts of the case, but it was a bit of an eye-opening to hear how investigators are discussing things amongst our law enforcement. They felt it hurt the Commonwealth that the lead investigator wasn't there to testify solely about the outcome of the investigation, but to testify about his actions throughout the investigation. Did you find Colin Albert's testimony believable? I found Colin to be purposely elusive when asked questions.
Is a choice that has generated a great deal of discussion. According to sources, Tiffany Henyard allegedly fired the Dolton police superintendent for investigating her behavior. The investigation focused on allegations of misconduct and financial irregularities related to Henyard.
On ice while holding a solo cup and broken our falls with just our knuckles. It's good to know that this jury is not taking people's just word of things. Did you believe Colin Albert was inside Brian Albert's house? I know that at some point Colin Albert was in the house. That was proven beyond a reasonable doubt. But whether he was there past the time he stated is not as clear. I do put weight on Allie McCabe seeming to slip up during the part of her testimony where she stated that Colin wasn't in the house when John was. I could believe that is the truth, but that's...
Many people believe that Henyard is attempting to silence those who are trying to hold her accountable for the abrupt firing, which has caused a public outrage. This alleged dismissal has increased the mistrust that already exists between Henyard and the neighborhood. In an unexpected development, former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot has been tapped to lead an inquiry into alleged corruption during Tiffany Henyard's administration. This inquiry seeks to uncover the truth about various accusations of financial mismanagement and unethical behavior against Henyard. The allegations include misuse of public resources, excessive police compensation, and personal travel expenses funded by taxpayer money. Critics have questioned whether Lightfoot, given her own contentious political past, is the right person to spearhead such an investigation. Henyard, the mayor of a small Illinois town of 20,000 residents, reportedly earned a combined annual salary of $287,000 from her mayoral and supervisor roles, an amount close to the U.S. president's $400,000 salary. Accusations of using city funds for lavish personal travel and collecting campaign donations from businesses under duress have further tarnished her reputation. Reports also suggest Henyard's Cancer Research Foundation might have misused taxpayer funds, raising demands for financial transparency. This controversy follows a string of other incidents, such as a local meeting where Henyard dressed as infamous fictional criminal Nino Brown, sparking outrage over her apparent trivialization of public concerns. Local businesses have accused her administration of retaliatory actions, such as delaying license renewals for those who withdrew financial support for her campaign. Simultaneously, another high-profile legal case has caught public attention. In Karen Reed's trial, jurors discussed testimony from key witnesses. Testimony from Officer Michael Proctor, described as lacking integrity, and Colin Albert, deemed evasive, were critical to the case. Jurors expressed skepticism about aspects of the investigation, including text messages revealing troubling behavior among law enforcement. Adding to the broader climate of distrust, a tragic incident involving Disney has highlighted corporate accountability issues. Dr. Tang Swan, who suffered from severe food allergies, died after being served allergen-contaminated food at a Disney resort. Her husband's subsequent wrongful death lawsuit was countered by Disney, citing a waiver in Disney Plus terms and conditions. The legal argument, alongside claims of non-liability due to the restaurant's ownership, has drawn sharp criticism. These events underscore growing public dissatisfaction with leadership accountability, whether in politics, law enforcement, or corporate governance. As investigations unfold, they will likely set precedents for addressing corruption and ethical failures in various spheres.